In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the starter on this Ford F-150 with the 5.0 liter engine. It's located on the passenger side, underneath the truck, on the transmission, so let's get started. Let's disconnect the negative battery terminal. It's going to be this one that does not have the red cover. Use an 8mm socket and loosen up this mounting nut. And now, with this loose enough, you should be able to pull it, if you twist it, pull it right off the battery terminal. Set this aside so it can't bounce back and make connection. Now on the passenger side underneath the truck, you'll see that the starter is located right here on the transmission. You'll have a power wire, a signal wire, and then the ground right back there. Let's take this cap off, and then a 13mm socket will remove the mounting nut for the power wire. Okay, take that off, remove the wire. Now with a 10mm socket, let's remove this mounting nut. And then, with a 13 again, we'll remove this mounting nut holding on these ground wires. All right, pull these wires off. Now with all the wires disconnected, there will be 3 mounting bolts holding this starter on. One is this stud right here that we just removed the ground wire on. There's going to be one slightly harder to see right above this solenoid, and then one that is pretty much impossible to see, but you'll be able to reach it with a long extension at the top of the starter. 13mm deep socket is what's going to get this off, or a wrench. Let's break it free. This is the lower bolt for it. So there's this one. Now for the one on the side, you'll need, you can use a regular socket or a deep socket, but you need an extension that will allow you to clear this solenoid. So basically have your ratchet and extension going this way, straight in. There it is. Now the top one, you'll have to reach all the way up here. I have a 5.5-inch extension with a short socket. Now the total tool length here from the end of the socket to the end of the ratchet is 7 inches. So you can't have any tool longer than that, or it will hit the engine mount while you try to get it up on the bolt and over the starter. So whatever setup you need to have to get that in place, whether it's a longer socket with a shorter extension, that's the only way you're going to get this out. And as for seeing it, that's not going to happen. It's all the way up here. You'll have to kind of feel for where the bolt is. As soon as you feel that 13mm socket drop on that bolt. All right, the starter is moving, so of course that means I got the right bolt, but also that means it's not stuck in the transmission, which often happens. If that's the case for you, you just have to tap it with a hammer or pry it with a pry bar. Oh, starter's out. That means that bolt came out. So now you can grab the starter, pull it straight down. Now let's get the new starter in, bring it into position, and line it up. Once you have it lined up, I recommend starting in this lower bolt because it's the easiest to reach. And once you start this in, there's no way it can fall back out, so you'll be safe. This is going in very easily by hand, so that's great. I might as well get it a lot closer since I'm here. So I'm going to put my 13mm socket back on it and bottom it out. But I won't tighten it because I need the starter to move around a little bit still. That way I can line up the other ones, but the less it moves, the better. I just need it to pivot. Let's put in the one on the side. All right, that's in. It's almost bottomed out, so it's time to put that top one. That's going to be the most difficult one. Well, because you can't see it. So I'll have to reach in here, feel for it, and potentially even put it in directly with the socket. Let's get that one close to being bottomed out, and at this point, since all three are in, I'm just going to snug this once it's bottomed out. All right, that's bottomed out. I'll give it a quick snug. I'm only using a small ratchet here, so I'll come back with a longer one and tighten up that top one. And the torque on these three fasteners is 18 foot-pounds. I cannot get a torque wrench up at the top or on the center one, or in the middle, I should say. So I'm just going to take my longer ratchet and make it nice and snug. 18 foot-pounds is not a lot. Definitely doable with a ratchet. At most, 1/8 of a turn by hand after it bottoms out. That should do the trick. All right, that's snug. I'll give it a little more. Perfect. Same thing. Get it snug and a little extra. Now this lower one, I will be torquing, once again, 18 foot-pounds. Now let's reconnect all the wires, starting with this main ground that goes on this bottom stud. Make sure the wiring harness is clean. Mine has no corrosion, so I'm not worried about it, but if yours is corroded, clean it up with some sandpaper. Then reinstall this 13mm mounting nut. That's going to lock it in. Bottom it out all the way, and then of course snug it up. Give it about 1/8 of a turn after it bottoms out, because all this needs to do is clamp this harness down. You don't need to crush it. Now pull the other two wires through, and let's connect them. I'm going to put this smaller one on first. The new starter should have come with new hardware to mount these, so I'm going to put a locking washer and a mounting nut on this. This is still a 10mm. When you snug this, don't over tighten it. You don't want to break anything or strip it out. So as soon as it bottoms out, which is here, give it a little extra, done. You just need to crush that little locking washer in there to hold it down. Now remove the new mounting nut off of the main power wire. Put the power wire on and make sure that on the back side where it mounts on, it is not corroded. Mine looks great. So slide it right on. Make sure it fits on properly and bottoms out. And then put the new mounting nut on. This is still a 13mm. When you bottom this out, make sure you don't over tighten it. So right here it's bottomed out. I'm going to give it a little bit extra, and that's it. I don't want to accidentally twist and snap this terminal or the stud off inside the alternator. And once that's tight, reinstall this cap, making sure that it protects it from debris and moisture. And there we go. Let's reconnect the negative battery terminal. If it has corrosion, clean it up. And when you install it, make sure it's flush or further down past the top of the battery terminal. Tighten this up with your 8mm socket, and you know that it's tight enough, not when this stops spinning, because that's going to be way too tight. You'll either break it or stretch the terminal, but you know that it's tight enough when you can't spin the terminal by hand, which is right here. So at this point, this is all set. Take it for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.